Hello, everyone. Hi, Chris. Can everyone hear me well?
Yeah.
Hey. Okay, so we're gonna wait for other members to join us, and we will start from 8 shortly at UTC +7. So our community manager will call for more people to join us later when we officially start the call. And hopefully Sky is joining us as well. Are you dialing from Chris? Checking.
Do you want me to ping her?
Yeah, sure. I think our CM would ping her. Yeah, we just have a chat here. Okay. Where are you dialing in from, Chris?
I'm at the airport actually. Singapore.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
When's your flight?
Well, flight's at 11.
Okay, so we still have some time to spare, hopefully.
Yeah, I've checked in and everything already, so no problem.
Okay, so Sky is here as well. Hello, Sky.
Hi, Nico. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Sky.
Hi, where about are you?
Oh, can you hear me? I think it's
Yes.
a bit noise in the voice. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you well.
Okay. I think it's have some problem with my AirPod. I'll come back.
No worries.
Okay, I'm out.
So where are you flying up to, Chris?
Also, I'm sorry, keep forgetting to unmute. So I'm flying to Malaysia and then coming back the day after that.
Oh, so that's not for the Chinese New Year holiday?
Nah, it's just to have last minute meetings and stuff before the Chinese New Year.
Okay, yeah. I heard you told me that you will not have holiday anyway, so just double checking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we would wait. We just gonna have a chat, a bit while we were waiting for more members to join us. So Sky, are you with us?
Yeah.
Is the signal working okay?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, awesome.
Okay. Are you still in Bangkok?
Yeah, right. Still in Bangkok. Yeah, absolutely yes. Work and work.
Okay. Yeah, so we are hoping to have more, I think, members from the Thai community joining us today as well, also from Singapore and Malaysia. I think in our audience today, also there are a number of newbies who are keen on learning about metaverse. And I think since the concept, the terminology is starting to decouple from cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So I think it's very interesting to see a nice mix of both, Web 2 and Web 3 players, like mainstream, also like players joining us today. So I think it's also good to, just to have a discussion more on the use case side and also on the adoption side so that, it doesn't have to involve a lot of technology, but it's going to be more about the perspective. And hopefully we would have more enthusiasts and also maybe, like companies or individuals who are keen to explore and apply metaverse in their business. So while we're waiting for more people here, we're going to start maybe in 5 minutes since, our community members are starting to join. It's great to have both of you here today. And nice to see you both after the Blockchain Genesis Thailand. So hopefully the past 2 months have not been too shaky for you. So I think, of course, with the market turmoil, the situations, of course, is not looking, as great as before. But I think that's also the reason why we're having the call today, also to discuss what to look out for in 2023. And as I mentioned, so there are a number of new players in the Web3 space for now. So it would be great to focus more today on the use cases and what do you guys think might be, some of the ways for new companies or new individuals to start getting into the space. Although I know that that's kind of a basic question or a basic topic, but pretty much we would love to have more of your insights on how to apply the technology itself, how to bring about more use cases that resonate with more with the mainstream business. Okay, so yeah, we are waiting for more members to join us in a few minutes. We are also preparing for Chinese New Year this weekend, so I think some of our members might be busy with that. But let's say, I think we can just slowly start with, with our discussion today. And for our members, please remember that you can actually share the questions to our speakers later. And we will also invite you to share about your project or the updates of your project later if you wish to do so. So just feel free to leave us a message in the Telegram group and we would get back to you. We will invite you to speak up after the panel discussion. And the call today would be recorded and shared on YouTube or either Spotify so that our other members will be able to join us from other time zones. Okay, so guys, why don't we start maybe by a quick round of intro about you, starting with Sky and then Chris. So we would love to hear more about who you guys are, what you are doing, and what are you up to most recently. Maybe Sky, if you want to start first.
Yeah, sure, cool. Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. It would be my first time being with APAC DAO, right? I believe that we have a lot of new joiners come from the Sandbox community as well, and also from Singapore, Malaysia. And thank you for warm welcome. Yeah, I am working with the Sandbox team. I think some of you might familiar with the Sandbox. The Sandbox is the open metaverse that allow you to play, to create your virtual world, or even monetize a lot of operating your business in the blockchain, right? So we are kind of the open world, right? To have a player to come and also for the creator to come and build together. So mainly, I just the team set up in Thailand, and also actually we have some team in Singapore, right? Chris, and also in Hong Kong. I think in Southeast Asia we are pretty have a lot of player glow to support the community. Yeah, I think I would love to share more how it will be look like during 2022, and let's see if we can exchange any idea together if you new to the Sandbox and also first time metaverse. Yeah, happy to discuss today. Yeah, thank you, Nicole.
Okay, thank you, Sky from Bangkok. And Chris is at the airport in Changi Airport, flying to Malaysia, and he's spending time with us today. Maybe Chris, could you introduce a bit about yourself and CGame?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Nicole, for the invitation to this call. Great to see Sky again since the Blockchain Genesis event in Thailand. My name is Chris. So I'm a co-founder, currently the CSO of CGame, which is an agency which is building projects for the Sandbox. Okay. So basically, what I came from a background of crypto, blockchain. Okay, and then in 2021, we decided to go into the metaverse. So we then onboarded the Sandbox Metaverse. And currently, from then to now, we have been exploring different solutions, okay, and also different experiences, and more importantly, creating connections, okay, for all the different creators and builders within the region, so that we are able to actually go on to a better synergy, and also would be a stronger force united together to face this market in upcoming years. Thank you.
Okay, so to all of our members, please get your questions ready later if you have anything to share with our speakers. And we will also record this call so that our members from different time zones can also tune in later and listen to the discussion today. Also, just to set some background for our discussion, for our chat today. So actually, for APAC DAO, we are doing a series of outlook in 2023 for Web3, and we are looking at different verticals that would emerge or remain as the key growth drivers for Web3 space in 2023. And obviously, metaverse is still, one of the most notable trends that we've seen in the past couple, back in 2022, of course. But one of the main reasons that we've seen is that, of course, the metaverse might be one of the key verticals to facilitate more adoption from the mainstream players. And I think it's very interesting that, of course, like Sky and also Chris have, background in both the traditional and the Web3 space. And they would also share about their experience today on, what are some of the use cases would be prevalent, in 2023. So we actually have a list of questions, but Chris and Sky, I think, of course, we both know that I would not actually follow the list of questions. So we would have a very casual chat today, maybe just to talk more from your experience, just so that you can share more from your experiences, and you can also have this kind of discussion with our audience. So I think for the audience, if you have any questions, just please share that in the Telegram group. It's also okay. We can also pick some of the questions to raise with the speakers later. But I think one of the first questions that I would like to start with is, since there are some newbies here today, I think we can come back to maybe like the basic concept to you, like what metaverse is, and who gets to say if it's a metaverse project or not. Because I mean, right now we have so many different players, both in the Web2 and Web3 space. The metaverse space is getting busier, but it doesn't mean that, of course, the space is getting more mature. So in that sense, what would you say, or what would you kind of coin the term of metaverse, and what does it exactly represent to you? So that it's like kind of a starter for us to have the basic understanding of metaverse. Maybe Sky, do you want to take this question first?
Yes, sure, Nicole. I think when we talk about metaverse, it's kind of like last words. Everyone's will think about it can be like the movie, right? People wearing like glass and seeing some like visualization. So I think let me get back to the presence, what the metaverse can deliver. I think the metaverse is like the new kind, cutting edge technology that can create and bring the content into the more creative and innovative way. Right now, we will see like how the metaverse is come under like both decentralized and centralized. So if we think about the metaverse for the centralized, so we can see how it's happened in the VR and also the AR technology. So people can come into like another world, and even like we can bring another world into our world through the AR technology as well. So I think it have been like developing for I think almost like 5 to 10 years. So we can see from like the Pokemon Go, right? So we bring Pokemon Go into our real life, and we just like catch the Pikachu. So this is one we can call this is a metaverse part. But beside us, we still have another like way to make the content more creative and more innovative. So it can be on just a PC and mobile gaming as well. So if we think about we want to interact with friends right during the past COVID-19, so we can just like going through Roblox somehow, and then we can like have some party, birthday party together with friends. So I think this is a one kind of the metaverse. So at the sandbox, I think we are kind of like the same cat with the metaverse, but it will be more like innovative with the blockchain. So we try to bring people, not only just a one metaverse, but we can bring like any other platform to work together. So I believe the metaverse is kind of represent of the virtual world, right? We can bring another world to our world, or maybe we can like jump into like another world or another verse as well. So I believe we will see like the content that pop up into like either mobile, PC, AR, and also VR. That is how definition of the metaverse as the current technology can support. Yeah, I think that's what I can feel from like the past year working in this industry.
Okay. Yeah, that's very comprehensive. So, Chris, do you think that the metaverse has changed or has looked different since last year?
Yeah. So I think, of course, I think metaverse itself has pretty much gained a lot of traction in 2022. I think one of the most important things that happened to the whole space was that on the average human being, there are more people who has not just heard of the term metaverse, but has actually tried it, created a certain avatar of themselves in each of the different platforms, probably spend at least an hour understanding how they can actually, or what they can do in the metaverse. So I think the participation level is very important for a new industry. That's very important.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that was the biggest difference from when we talk about metaverse before, because metaverse to me is just a mixed version of the internet, right? That's how everyone calls it as well. So of course Web3 has a lot about, when we talk about ownership, we go into very deep stuff like digital ownership, assets ownership, stuff like that. But I think metaverse on the whole, it's really bringing experiences in a more creative way that is able to reach out to the decision makers and the future decision makers of the world today. Because as we see the whole world is growing every year, of course, okay, the group of people, the profile of the people who are spending, the consumer profiles are getting younger and younger. So they are no longer attracted by a TV advertisement or a newspaper publication or even an SMS message. It has to appear very interactive. It has to be very different for them to even get engaged. So I think metaverse is the kind of it's where it is starting to evolve based on these people's consumer habits.
Okay. So I mean, what I can recap from your sharing and Sky's sharing is that definitely metaverse is also like a intermediary platform or intermediary technology that we can definitely integrate with a lot of the other existing technology, for example, like AR and VR. And actually, it doesn't have to tie back to Web3, but pretty much, of course, we are talking about 2022, when Web3 and Metaverse, actually Web3 has elevated Metaverse, in a lot of these use cases. And as Chris mentioned, so we've been able, or a lot of the Metaverse projects have been able to acquire a number of these netizen users who are now, who definitely prefer more engagement, more interaction with the virtual world instead of the traditional kind of space with, with the apps and stuff. So I think that's definitely, like we are now also going to the second question, but I would like to ask you about the most exciting innovation or project in 2022 that you have witnessed. So I think that would definitely help shed some light on, how the metaverse space has evolved in the past year. Maybe Sky, if you want to share, your answer to that question.
Yeah, sure. So I think during 2022, right, a lot of people not just only talking about metaverse, but we have a lot of like mass adoption and hype around the cryptocurrency. I think during that time, we just seeing people try to using like the technology and even like the metaverse into like their own industry. As you can see, like the fashion show, right? In a lot of platform, not only for the sandbox, we have the fashion show event come out, but also the platform like Decentralized is pretty popular though. So there are a lot of the fashion designer to come into the metaverse not only for the gaming reason, just not only for play to earn for the player, but they try to bring more their expertise, their career into the metaverse and try to apply with the technology. I think this is how it's make metaverse more fun and engaging with the participants. And I think during 2022, the sandbox we make numerous a lot of things with the partnership. As you can see, I think in the metaverse we just not only like allow people to have more gamification experience, but we try to bring more diverse content from the entertainment, filming, and also we try to bring more a lot of like the production and the builder studio come. So I think during 2022, the big shift is like the player that just starting to be more like a creator and engage with the each industry. Yeah.
Very interesting. I think you have touched on quite a few of these, I think, topics that we want to discuss more on the adoption of metaverse. So it's about creator economy, it's about user experience, and basically, pretty much on how we can actually bring it to the bigger kind of audience and the mass audience. So, Chris, what will you have to say about this?
So I think one of the key thing that happened in 2022, because Sky has touched on a lot of stuff. I think for me, maybe I just want to touch on, a lot of people, due to the issues with the major centralized companies, I think more users see the importance of decentralization. So I think that is one of the key things that was very important for me, okay, that more people are getting educated through a certain incident that has a serious impact, okay, to create enough awareness that people realize that they should be educated in the right way. So I think that was a great improvement for the whole space itself. Yeah.
I think you also touched on a very interesting point about decentralization, right? So one of the key motivations for, let's say, adopters to join metaverse is that there's a lot of constraint to the existing centralized space or world out there. So although it's one of the most prevalent motivations, we can see that metaverse has definitely gained more traction since last year due to the participation of a lot of these bigger players. So we're talking about the likes of HSBC and most recently like the Seoul, the city of Seoul, and also with Lego. So actually, do you think that basically this metaverse space is going to get more centralized now that we are having more of these bigger players? And for example, for startups and SMEs, do you think that there are still opportunities for them to join the metaverse? Chris?
Okay, so first of all, I think one of the key reasons why metaverse has a lot of positive effects and I would say adoption is also because of these big brands and IPs that are joining the metaverse. So this was very different from when we were back in 2016 when we're talking about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency itself was pushing the idea of no central bank. The idea of Bitcoin was a bit of too aggressive for a lot of companies to deal with. But metaverse was more of, I was providing a different kind of experience to the consumers, as I was saying before. So brands like HSBC, Standard Chartered, okay, the recent one, Hang Seng Bank, okay, who did their experiences with the sandbox, what they're trying to give, as I was trying to say, was provide an experience that is going to cater to the younger users. Because if today HSBC is not able to create an experience that a 20 years old or 18 years old today would actually enjoy, being part of, okay, probably they're going to lose these customers in the next 5 to 10 years, okay? So this is one of the reasons why I feel that it's not about being centralized, decentralized, but It is about them really pushing more people into the space. So when we talk about SMEs, I think SMEs, all the more they should be stepping into the metaverse. As I was saying, the metaverse itself is the next version of the internet. Every time there is the evolution in the web itself, okay, or the internet, okay, the companies who made it are always SMEs. Even though we talk about Amazon, Facebook, even from China, we have like Tencent, TikTok, so crazy right now. But 10 to 15 years ago, they used to be an SME. Okay, it is always the MNCs that have problems actually adopting new technology because of the corporate structure, because of a lot of I'll say compliance issues, a lot of ownership stuff. It's very hard for them to actually adopt a new technology. But for SMEs, this is the technology, this is the field that they should be betting everything they have on, so that they're able to, make it. Like what COVID has done for the past 3 years is that a lot of companies that did drop shipping, made it, okay? Because everyone was at home, people have to spend, So the key things that we actually share to a lot of people, and we identified that SMEs actually face when they want to try to get onto the metaverse, okay, is something we call the bank theory, okay? So the bank stands for budgets, okay, assets, network, and knowledge. So most SMEs today, okay, even on the internet, they're not able to find someone who is able to give them a clear budgeting on how much it is to cost to get into the metaverse. Assets-wise, because of the new brand itself, they probably don't have much assets apart from the founder and their own idea or some MVP, okay, to put into the product page, okay. Network-wise, that's all. Network, because they're so new. Maybe they're a startup, they're a budding entrepreneur. Probably the network is not strong. And knowledge, I think, is the same case not just for SME owners. Even for a lot of major companies, the only reason why the director of a bank can talk about metaverse because they have a department of R&D, feeding them information. Because if not, he would have no clue about the metaverse. So this is the thing that we're trying to solve. Okay, so to allow more SME able to onboard the metaverse, just like how they're able to onboard a Facebook page, okay, or Instagram page, or something like a TikTok page that TikTok is providing right now. Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this, Sky?
I think what Chris just said is kind of quite interesting on the SME side, because we have seen just a lot of large corporate and a big brand, big money come into the metaverse because of either they have raised resources and also the knowledge. But one part that I would like to highlight about what is happening in the metaverse area for the sandbox, we kind of like encouraging the SME, not just only SME, but also startups, right? Both small business side that can be one of the part of the large company, the large big brand, right? To create and present their brand along with the value chain in the large company. I think in our event right now in the sandbox, we have working with the one education platform. It's more like the edtech company named Quad Hero. The company is like they're just coming from the web through that teach students for knowing about how to learn about do the music and understanding about the skill for playing ukulele. So what we see how the small business, right, from the music industry, from the just a music classroom shift into the metaverse, they're just like creating the new initiative for make their student to personalize their ukulele and learn about the new skill from the physical classroom. But also, Quad Hero just like have some a new way to engage with their student through the gamified platform in the metaverse format. So we can see like just classroom, just a web tool, just like just music entertaining. They're just shifting the value of learning, right, into more entertainment, engaging. So right now we just like bring the ukulele, the personalized ukulele that design in the real life into the NFT, right, collection. So it means students can learn not just only the music skill, right, with their friend, but they just have a new skill to know about Web3, what is an NFT and how that can mean. So I think this is how we can adding the value of the small business and also a startup into like the long value chain, how like the metaverse come and can support what that just like do best and just make it more better in the new form of the content. Yeah, I think this one we can make it together as a small business. Yeah.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So to everyone, if you have any questions to the speakers, feel free to share with us in the Telegram group or get ready because we're gonna open the floor in a couple of minutes for you to speak up and interact with our speakers here. So I think one of the key questions that we would like to pose forward is that, you know, like so to Chris first, maybe what would be your advice, let's say to a new builder who want to engage or like, you know, in the metaverse space? I mean, we might have already like a checklist with Web3 builders already, but with metaverse, it's somehow a very different kind of realm. And a lot of the builders in our community, for example, they're considering to go for the metaverse, but I think pretty much they don't know how and they don't know what is the easiest way to do so or whether they should actually do that. So what would be your advice to them, you know, in terms of starting with metaverse?
Okay, so I think the first step is just to flip through their own digital phone book, you know, or a digital like a textbook of what they already have in the digital space. The first step to get onto the metaverse, I feel, is just to review your own digital ownership. What in your whole profile of yourself, okay, is already in the digital space, and which of these companies are already in the metaverse, and then from there you can actually start from the very individual experience, buying an Oculus, example, you know. Just buy an Oculus, going into the Horizon world, because everyone, I'm sure you have a Facebook account. Okay, that is one very easy step, you know, for anyone to go into the metaverse. Okay, and then probably I think on the second step, if they are a business owner, okay, they could look for some companies that is in their industry, okay, and who are already in the metaverse, okay, and then look at the experiences that they're creating and generate ideas from there to actually see if they're able to associate their brand or improve their personal brand with a metaverse experience. Okay, and then the third point I think is just education. You know, being part of a community like APAC DAO itself is fantastic because even though you might not have the right network, you know, a very good community such as the APAC DAO, you know, is allowing yourself to get more educated because it connects you with all the major and the key platforms to ensure that you're getting into the metaverse the right way. I think this is also very important, you know, getting into the metaverse the right way, because a lot of times when people get into a new industry such as NFTs or crypto, back then there was this craze about, you know, just pure speculation, you know, and projects that you're supposedly gonna make like a few 100x in like a certain period of time. Okay, so I think this is the wrong way when you're talking about metaverse itself. Okay, if you're really wanting to getting into the metaverse the right way, you have to get educated. You know, you have to associate yourself with education platforms, communities, and then, you know, learn. You know, before you even decide which part of the space you can actually start off with, because essentially, by right, the metaverse itself is able to encompass everyone. Okay, so your place, your position, your opportunity has already been there. It's just that your ability to discover it and also to see from which perspective you're going to kickstart your journey. Yeah, so these are the few key points I think for me to share.
Okay, very interesting, Chris. So Sky, would you care to maybe share some extra feedback to that, and maybe also please share with us on how we can actually work with Sandbox later?
Sure. Actually, in the Sandbox, we have been working for like the 3 main partner. We have one player who kind of like engaging us for the content. We have them to help us improve on the experience, and 2 more we working with is a partner who bring and come with their IPs. So if you are kind of like the brand, or it can be like the small side of the company, I think how we can work together at the Sandbox, we can like encouraging the UGC system or the user generated content. I believe if you already have a strong of the brand, and I think your community, right, looking for like the new kind of the content into Web3, I believe the Sandbox can be the one of springboard, like it name as the Sandbox. So you just like not alone jump into the metaverse, but you will come and see how the big name and also the small business, right, using their IP, using their content in the more creative way to build with the gamified engine. And another part is like how we work with the builder studio, because of when we talk about metaverse, it takes you a year to build the world, right? Just to be honest. And if we want it's like a big world, more beautiful and have a lot, and want to engage with a lot of people, we need creator, and all the metaverse world will driven by the content and the builder. So that's why if you are kind of like the one artist, the one who have like some skill of building the virtual, the Sandbox, we also support the creator, not only just the individual artists, but we also support the Metaverse Studio with the funding, so we can have like them on board just for like startup as incubate for the Sandbox builder as well. I think they have like so many ways to work with, and for whom is a startup or small business, we also encouraging people to understand the metaverse and Web3. If you see any like potential, you can be a part of the value chain, right? So you can create the startup or the solution that can serve the metaverse space as well. So you will see how like each investor support in terms of funding, and also in terms of the knowledge for incubating. Yeah, I think we do that too. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Thank you very much for those. Thank you very much for this insightful information, Sky. I think a lot of our members would definitely want to have a follow-up chat with you after this on how they can work with Sandbox, and of course to explore metaverse. So to our members here, if you have any questions, if you want to talk directly with the speakers, feel free to unmute yourself and and chat with us here while we are about to conclude the session. So we've got Chris from CGame and Sky here from Sandbox, and they're sharing a lot of the experiences on how the metaverse has been shaping since 2022, and some of the experiences and how to start with your metaverse journey. So if anyone is keen to share any questions, feel free to type in our Telegram group, or unmute yourself and also like talk with us here directly, whichever way it suits you. So there's a question from one of our members here. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. Hi Nicole, hi Sky and Chris. I'm Kan from Vietnam, and I would like to have a question for you. So metaverse is quite a big topic, right? Everyone's talking about it. And as you're saying, in Web 2 or Web 3, branding is really important because with a big brand, more people know about you, come to you just because you're well known in the market. So what do you think about the long and short terms growth in terms of the great impact in the project revenues? And, because when investors invest in anything, they would like to see the growth and also the profit come out of it. So what do you think between the big brand that people already know and the SME where people really don't know who you are? What would be like the great difference between those two in terms of the growth of community revenue potential between the already existing big brand Web 2 versus Web 3? Yeah, in the SME. If you understand my questions, yeah.
Maybe Chris, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so I think for big companies itself, as I was sharing across the whole session, like for a lot of big companies, majority of them is about retaining, and be the first in their industry to actually embrace this new technology or to be in this new space. So the growth itself, I don't see that it's going to be very significant because they're already established. Another like say 1 million user database for HSBC doesn't mean anything. So I don't think the growth itself is the key for big companies. However, as I've been trying to say, like with SMEs itself, the metaverse really should be the space that you should look into. Example, when during the COVID period, TikTok itself evolved from just a China-based social media product, eventually to allowing a lot of creators from the Web 2.5, to be able to get themselves connected with the international community because everyone was stuck at home.